Hold on. Oop, we're live. Yay. What's up?
And you have to be on Google Plus.
Yeah, there's nowhere that's not.
That's fine. Even though we're doing our podcast,
Sure, just go on and I'll look up.
What was that?
That was just an extra window open.
Is that because you had
Okay.
that open during watch,
Yeah.
and then there's like a 15-second delay?
There's a little bit of a delay. Right?
Well, it's hard to go out to space and go.
Well, right now this is happening.
Did you see the trailer for that Apple movie?
Like Steve Jobs?
No,
Or
it
what?
was like it's like
Wait.
a comedy like Jason Segel and Cameron Diaz.
Oh, yeah, that
Sexy.
movie.
The
Yeah.
entire movie was an
About
Apple
the cloud.
commercial.
Yeah.
Like before
Alright,
they
okay.
even were like it's the cloud. Like they're already like showing like the phone or whatever,
Just put on this.
or like whatever Apple device they have.
Enter.
The dragon.
Enter.
Let's talk about this too.
We have one viewer. It's probably Vince. Right?
You want to start a podcast now?
Yeah, we'll start our podcast.
All right, let's do it.
Get the theme music.
I'm well, what are we, 15?
We're on episode
15.
All right, well, welcome to episode 15 of the Cinema Observer podcast. I am Vincent Cervone,
I'm Jeffrey Lane.
And I'm Rich Langino.
and this is number 15. That's half of 30, if anybody's counting at home.
Nice odd number.
Nice odd number. I'm tweeting out right now. It's really kind of awkward when there are no viewers where I'm using join us.
Yeah,
We are live recording on Google Plus.
Yeah, we are doing a live Google Plus Hangout for the first time while we are recording our podcast. And if this goes well, we'll probably do it for here going forward just to kind of get more feedback going.
Yeah, why not? It puts us in the spot more
Yeah,
instead of like
a little more
deleting all that.
pressure.
So we got a lot on the slate today. Rich and Jeff are going to discuss X-Men. I have not seen it yet. I have also not seen anything other than the first one.
That's good though. That's okay.
Godzilla. You saw Godzilla?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Jeff saw it last
So
week.
last week.
Review is up on the website, cinemaobserver.com. And then we got recent news, recently seen, just among all of us, hype and overhype. We'll get to that later. And then we're going to talk about trailers, and in honor of Memorial Day, our favorite war movies. Forrest Gump does not count, Jeff. We will get to that later.
We'll talk about that.
So, with some news, Rich, you got anything for us?
Yeah, so actually that just came out, I believe, yesterday. Edgar Wright, who directed the Cornetto trilogy, Simon Pegg, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End, and also Scott Pilgrim, he has dropped out of the directing position for Ant-Man for Marvel over some creative differences. A little more news has come out today that it was because of major rewrites that went on in scripts that weren't to his liking, so he just kind of pieced out. And for a lot of people, I think he was the only draw to that film, but even though Paul Rudd's in it, and I know you love Paul Rudd.
I love Paul Rudd so much.
Yeah, so I think Paul Rudd's playing the lead, but I think now it's going to be tougher for Marvel to get people to see an Ant-Man movie. I mean, it's Ant-Man, right?
Well, he's cool.
Yeah.
I think is Paul Rudd the lead in that?
Yeah,
Is he Ant-Man?
he's going to be Ant-Man. I don't think he's going to be the original Ant-Man in terms of the comics, but he's going to be played.
Nice.
But I don't know, it's kind of weird. And also, J.J. Abrams released kind of a short video from I forget where it was, but I think it's going to turn out to be Tatooine for Star Wars Episode 7. He was basically promoting kind of a cause where people could have the chance to be in Star Wars Episode 7. And as he was talking, there's this kind of weird-looking alien that kind of walks by. with like a bunch of chickens on his back or something. Like it was very strange.
Yeah.
But the best part about it was that it was obviously like a practical alien. It wasn't a CG alien, so a lot of people were pretty excited about. I'm excited about that since he's doing more practical effects than George Lucas did in the prequels, kind of returning to that kind of worn look and do everything as practically as possible before.
George Lucas is God.
From our last podcast,
You see, I don't know if it was a recent book, but Viggo Mortensen was talking about
Lord of the Rings.
how Lord of the Rings, he thought the first was the best one, and after that, it was all too digital.
Yeah, Peter Jackson picked out on CGI for the other two.
Yeah,
And for
and he
the
said all his movies since then, too.
Yeah.
And how, like, The Lovely Bones shouldn't be a $90 million movie.
Speaking
That's
of
like $15 million.
Peter Jacks, as I call him.
Peter Jackson.
I never called him that before. I told just now. But he did King Kong, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
And that was like 3.5 hours long.
I was gonna say I have the misfortune of getting stuck watching that again, and I've seen it before. First of all, Jack Black's in it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So I mean, we're done with the conversation. It ends there.
So is Naomi Watts.
You're just adding to the. You're adding to the. I'm not a big Naomi Watts fan. You did mention Viggo Mortensen before, though. I love Viggo Mortensen. Eastern Promises.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He's on The Road, I think.
Yeah, he's in The Road.
Yeah.
So is Omar from The Wire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know that?
No, I don't remember him.
Yeah. Yep. He's like one of like the guys on the side of the road in the cart, something like that.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly. It was a long time ago I saw it.
They can describe everyone except for Viggo and son.
Yeah. Well, they have a cart at home. Well, they have a cart for most of the movie too.
Yeah.
Right?
I also saw Viggo Mortensen in a movie called Hidalgo, which was like about a horse. Kind of, I think it was like I want to say like the Middle East or Mexico or so. It was like set in a desert. And he's just really good. I like him in pretty much everything he's in usually.
Which one?
Hidalgo.
Oh, okay. Wasn't that on your? Was that on your list, or did you mention Hugo?
I've never
Hugo.
seen that.
Hugo.
Hugo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're also going to be talking about Jeff's top 15 a little bit.
I'll go with
Breaking
Hugo.
it apart.
Well, then,
Yeah.
is there any other pressing news, Rich, that we've?
Oh, big news. The Batman and Superman title finally was released, and people were ticked off
What
because
is
it was
it?
cheesy. It's Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. And I put a short video of this on our YouTube channel, just kind of immediate reactions to it. But I don't know. What do you guys think of the title?
It's pretty corny.
Yeah,
The Dawn of Justice.
yeah. It pretty much guarantees it's going to be a Justice League setup movie now.
Yeah.
I don't like the whole like Batman v Superman thing either. I almost wish it was just Dawn of Justice.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I know like
Or one or the other.
right. It kind of sounds like a western.
Like Batman and Superman is big enough on its own, right?
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
know, it's kind of weird.
But that's the thing. Why do they do the titles like that? It's a long title too.
Yeah.
So
long titles don't work usually. Like, what's the greatest movie with the longest title? Maybe Doctor Strangelove, maybe.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah, that would be up there too.
That's pretty. What other long title movies?
Like all the Indiana Jones movies have long titles because it's always Indiana Jones and the
Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Dog
Yeah.
Days.
Perks of Being a Wallflower. That's kind of a mouthful.
It's a book though. First.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. I don't like the title at all. And I do think Dawn of Justice sounds like a really badass western movie though.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's something that Clint Eastwood would be in or something.
Just call it Affleck Mania. I always say Affleck. Isn't it Affleck?
You're thinking about the duck.
Yeah, I love that dog. Affleck.
Yeah.
I guess I'm saying.
Huh?
I say I'm saying.
This Affleck?
Yeah.
Why not?
Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
I don't think he's deserved the right spelling of the
Maybe this movie will change your conception of Ben Affleck.
I don't think it will. I really don't think it will. I don't hate Ben Affleck. I loved him in Good Will Hunting.
Mhm.
But I just don't. He's a pretty good director, too.
Argo.
But I just don't really.
The town's big.
Yeah.
What's the town? Which one is that?
That's
He's involved in bank robberies in Boston.
Oh, it sounds original.
It's really good.
Yeah,
Go check it out.
I would like to check it out, but I think he's got to be from Boston.
That's from Boston or Jersey.
Boston.
Boston.
He
Boston.
went to high school with Matt Damon.
Right.
They're bros.
And that's why everyone was thinking.
What happened to Matt Damon?
Did the Bourne movies and dropped off face of the
No,
earth.
he did like a string of like really like what was that soccer movie, Invictus?
Yeah.
And then he's been like he was like We Bought a Zoo or something. There was a movie
He
called
was in Monuments Men too.
what was that
Yeah.
movie? Matt Damon. Zoo.
We bought a zoo.
We Bought a Zoo.
Yeah.
What is that?
I think it's based on a true story.
It's got good ratings on here.
Wasn't Matt Damon in that one movie you talked about in the other earlier episode, Jeff, about like the fracking? Was he in that movie?
Yeah, he was in Promised Land.
Yeah.
He co-wrote it.
Yeah.
John Krasinski. He's gonna be in Interstellar, so
Right. We didn't see him at all in the Interstellar.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
It'd probably be awesome.
Matthew McConaughey. So excited.
didn't you guys see Elysium last year?
I didn't see Elysium.
No, I didn't. Isn't that the one that Eminem was supposed to be in? Did you know that?
I did not know.
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
Eminem.
He
Yeah.
was also in Behind the Candelabra.
All right. I think
with
he
Michael Douglas.
got a couple
HBO.
awards for that. I want to say.
Yeah,
A number of nominees.
I'm pretty sure they offered it to Eminem, and he wouldn't do it unless it was shot in Detroit. So they got Matt Damon.
Eminem is an action star.
No, but let's just recap here. Okay, they couldn't get Eminem, so they got Matt Damon.
It shouldn't be.
Shouldn't it be?
The other way around.
Yeah, it doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. It said, according to the director, this is on movies.yahoo.com, the artist sometimes noticed some shit he was interested, but he had one major condition: he wanted the movie to be shot in Detroit. So I can admire him wanting to do that. But I
Yeah.
still think it's weird that they went from Eminem to Matt Damon.
You saw the movie, Jeff? Elysium?
Yeah, it's alright.
It was alright.
It's kind of like predictable, I guess.
Mhm.
It looked cool though. He was in True Grit a few years ago. It was fantastic.
The
The
remake
remake.
with Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
And Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
There's a
Jerry
Jason.
Seinfeld.
Let's see that.
I think that's pretty much it
Yeah.
for news here. Let's well, we could. I guess you guys, since you both did you both see X-Men?
Yeah.
Both saw last night, I believe.
Yeah.
So same theater?
No, I don't know. Which one did you go to? Mall?
No, I went to
Transit?
Elmwood.
Oh, Elmwood? Okay. No, different theaters.
Just want to give a shout out to AMC Theaters. Your theaters are the best because I love your chairs and you're still affordable.
And most importantly, you butter your own popcorn.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't experienced that yet, but that makes me more excited. All right. Well, what did you guys think of X-Men? I haven't seen any of them.
Did you see the first one or parts of the first one?
Whichever one ends in the snow. I think that's the first one.
It's too specific.
Ends in the snow.
It's
By
like-
the lake?
I have no idea. I saw this when I was in high school.
I don't think the first X-Men ended by the
There-
snow. I think that would have been X-Men 2. Which, before this movie, was the best X-Men movie.
I haven't seen enough. Anyway, how was the new one? Like, I'm assuming you're both gonna review it.
I think I give it
Rich
to you.
said, oh,
I'll give it to you.
alright, I thought you said you were going to.
Oh, you can.
Well, that was before we saw
Well, we
Alright.
can discuss this in the writers' room.
Yeah.
Which is here.
Yeah.
Just when the
Let's
podcast-
not play this out in front of everyone.
But what did you guys think? What was your overall, like, if I said should I go see it, what would you guys say?
I'd say yes.
That's it.
And I think if you were a big X-Men fan, it's pretty much integral to the storyline, and you would love it even more if you're familiar with the X-Men movies.
I was never an X-Men fan. I saw the 3 movies a few years ago.
Mhm.
Don't really remember any of them. Other than thinking it's kind of entertaining.
Yeah, that's.
And then I saw Days of Future Past like a week ago. I haven't seen the Wolverine movies.
Oh, First Class. You mean you saw First Class?
Or yeah.
Yeah.
That was alright.
Yeah. That's.
And then this one was really good.
Yeah, I would agree with Jeff. Like, the X-Men movies leading up to this, basically had X-Men in 2000, where superhero movies weren't really big, so that was kind of groundbreaking in terms of like what it did for the genre, and in terms of getting a lot of big name actors in the same movie, and a comic book movie at that. And they pulled off, it was a pretty decent movie. I mean, it is like entertainment. X-Men 2 was a little bit better. It kind of went into Wolverine's backstory a little bit more, and just getting this out like up front, the X-Men movies only work because of Wolverine. Like, I think without Hugh Jackman and what he's done for that character, I don't think the movies would work. Even with Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, like all the great actors are able to get, they still focus a lot of the main story, at least in this first run of X-Men movies, around him. So it's going to be tough when he decides to hang up the claws.
He barely got that too in the merely last minute switch.
Yeah. I forgot who was in line to play Wolverine, but yeah, X-Men 2 is a little bit better. X-Men 3, there's kind of a lot of controversy where the Bryan Singer, who directed the first two X-Men movies and directed X-Men Days of Future Past. There's some sort of weird thing going on, and he ended up leaving X-Men 3, and Brett Ratner came in, and that movie was not the worst X-Men movie, but it was definitely a huge step back from where they were going. Then you have X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is awful. Like, it's pretty bad in terms of continuity, in terms of just even the effects were bad. Like, the claws looked fake. Wolverine's claws looked pretty fake in that movie. And a lot of the twists and turns that the plot took just were pretty dumb. And then after that, I think X-Men First Class, which introduced a younger Professor X and Magneto in the early 1960s, kind of rebooted the interest in the franchise a bit. And I think it was better. I would say it would be my third favorite, behind X2 and Days of Future Past. And then after that, we had The Wolverine, which was a solo movie about Wolverine in Japan, kind of dealing with his immortality and whether or not he should give it up.
Lame.
And that's set after the third X-Men.
Yeah, that's set after the Last Stand. So then we come to this movie, which kind of did what J.J. Abrams' Star Trek did to the Star Trek franchise, basically use a time travel device to basically reset the franchise for new stream stories. So that's basically, and it's kind of funny because at one point they have like a Star Trek episode playing on the TV. I'm like, oh, they're pretty much thanking J.J. Abrams for this idea, maybe. Like, I don't know, it just kind of seemed a little weird, but I don't know. I think what's great about the X-Men movies in general is it's not one superhero against, one kind of cheesy villain. It's more, the group of mutants as a whole against like the human race. So it's a bigger kind of struggle than just between two people. It's between like two races, if you will.
And there's the internal struggle among mutants.
Right.
How to negotiate the world.
Yeah. So that's always an interesting thing. I think it will always stay relevant. I think that's why, the first two X-Men movies have, been beloved, is because they have themes in them that really never get old, and people always find something in them, in their stories and stuff. And this one just kind of takes it to the nth degree. I don't know what you thought, Jeff, but as soon as this movie opened, like, I was like, damn, this is dark. Like, it's by far like the darkest X-Men movie I've seen, and one of the darker superhero movies I've seen too. Just the way the movie starts out, right? They're rolling dead bodies out of dump trucks. And stuff.
Yeah,
like,
so
wow.
Dark future world.
Tone is very important in a movie. What was that movie we discussed that in our Spider-Man?
Yeah.
So
this movie really, there was no, even though it's easy to screw up time travel, you really never worry about it because the story just keeps moving you along, and it's just really entertaining movie, and it has a lot there for previous X-Men fans. I still have to hold off on giving it like a Cinema Observer rating myself because I'm kind of between note and observe. But
I have to catch up.
Yeah, you have to catch up first.
Yeah.
We keep getting notifications on Twitter, and they're just the same notification. So thanks, Twitter. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, what about as far as like the runtime of the movie? Was it long or?
It was around 2 hours and 10 minutes, and it didn't seem long
Yeah, it
to
didn't
me.
feel long at all.
Well, I'm just asking because Noah was very long, and it's still got a bad taste in my mouth from that
And
one.
it wasn't like Spider-Man where it's like you could have cut a whole bunch out of this.
Right, they left everything in
Wait,
needed to be in there.
They
Spider-Man.
actually did cut a bunch.
They
of
did. They
Because
cut
I
a lot
saw-
of scenes with Rogue.
Yeah, Anna Paquin's part is like totally cut, but when you see the credits, she's like the third
Yeah,
name listed.
she's even before Ellen Page, who's like,
And I was like, was she in that?
yeah, she was right near. They squeeze her in at the end
Yeah,
a little
she is.
bit.
Spider-Man was perfectly. The length was perfect. What are you guys talking about? I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was like 7 hours.
Yeah.
So. I just asked because that seems to be one of the things that I keep in mind now when I go to see a movie, the runtime. Because like, I don't know, I don't want to sound negative, but I feel like when a movie's 3 hours, I'm very skeptical.
Well, Dark Knight Rises was really long.
But I trusted Nolan.
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean? Like there's the idea of, like Noah. Aronofsky was great, but it was too long. And then you think of something like this, like X-Men. You guys have seen X-Men before, so you
Yeah.
know what to expect. Titanic deserves 3 hours, but
Yeah.
like it just makes me very worrisome sometimes when I see a longer runtime for a movie because I wonder if it can hold my interest for that long.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And by the way, people did clap in my theater at the end of the movie. I know we talked about clapping in theaters last episode.
was it like this, or was it like?
It was,
I'm just joking. It doesn't really
it was
matter.
on the slower side, and it wasn't everyone in the theater. It was, I would say, about 10, 15 people out of a theater of 50.
Is it justified?
Yeah, I think it was. They did a really good job all the way around, and yeah, I think that's Bryan Singer's gig, really. I mean, I love every X-Men movie he's directed. He directed The Usual Suspects as well, which was really good. Superman Returns was kind of a little bit of a setback for him, but I mean, it was an interesting Superman story, but it wasn't basically the main joke of that movie. Superman doesn't punch anything in that movie, so that's the kind of main gripe about that. It was really overweighted with drama and stuff like that. But yeah, this movie did a really good job all the way around. I was really happy, and my brother who loves the X-Men movies, he really loved it too. That's his favorite X-Men movie now.
This one just came out.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to tweet at the same time.
No one applauded at my screening, but there was a group there who were all X-Men fans, and they were really happy after they got out
Yeah.
and excited.
I will warn you though, if you're going to see this movie and you want to stick around for the end credit scene, it's going to take to the end of the credits. Literally, it's not one of those mid-credits things where the main titles go by and then you have a scene. No, it's you see all the key grips and gaffers before you see the end credit scene. So
Take a little nap.
yeah,
I'm kind of like I'm not a fan of these anymore.
no,
We
they're
discussed
annoying.
it. They're really annoying. It's just like, show it right after the movie. We know it's going to be there. What's the point? No one reads the names. No one cares. I mean,
Yeah.
I know you put your blood, sweat, and tears into the movie. That's great. But, like, honestly, when you know it's going to be at the end of the movie, you actually sit there and scan the names. Like, Tobey Maguire was the director of photography. Who cares? Like, I mean, I'm sorry. I just don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody cares. People usually leave before that even happens.
Yeah,
And then it's just too long.
I think director of photography do have to kind of care about, but yeah, like all the key grips and gaffers, like
But I'm saying
they're
if you
stuck at the end of the credits.
if you cared about the movie, you probably would have knew that anyway.
I just noticed how many French Canadian people worked on this movie.
Yeah,
It was a lot, and they had like some sort of
I think
deal
they
with
did
Quebec.
locations.
Yeah.
Too, mentioned.
Yeah, so
I'm just saying. I mean, I know that all this goes into making a movie, but I don't think anybody
no.
The common
generally people don't care.
doesn't care.
Yeah.
I mean, if I know the director beforehand, I know the writer beforehand. If it's a movie I want to see,
Yeah,
so I don't know. That's just my take on it. But so all right, so that's X-Men. I do want to catch up with that one day.
yeah, and they're easy. They're shorter movies too. They're not
I
like
love
2.5 hour
Gambit,
prompts.
and Gambit isn't in them, right? I mean,
Right.
That really frustrates me. I think there's a movie.
They might make a Gambit movie though. Right?
Channing Tatum is confirmed
Oh
for
yeah,
a Gambit
he's gonna
movie.
be in,
Every time
in
I
the
hear-
next X-Men Apocalypse. in 2 years.
21 Jump Street.
Every time I hear Channing Tatum, I think of tater tots. Every single time. The first, like when you say Channing Tatum, I picture a glowing tater tot floating in the air. Every single time.
Nice.
So, well, Jeff talked about Godzilla last week, but I guess Rich, you saw it, right?
Yeah, I saw Godzilla. I ultimately agree with Jeff's rent rating. However, it is getting way more positive reviews than I think it deserves. I think we talked about this last week, how it's kind of a Jaws effect where you don't see the full monster until the tail end of the movie.
So like an hour and you don't see him really.
Yeah. You don't get the full glimpse until like the last act of the movie, maybe the last 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's fine. Like I don't mind that at all because that's part of what made Jaws so great. But the problem with this movie is you don't care about any of the people at all.
After the first half hour.
Yeah. You care about Bryan Cranston a lot. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But then you don't care about his son, Aaron Taylor Johnson. You don't care about his wife or
Can you
kid.
please refer to him as Kick-Ass?
Definitely the wife is the kid, I would just say.
I actually cared more about the Japanese kid than their own kid,
Yeah.
which is it's just not what you want if you're trying to get people. If you're trying to lead people on very
And
slowly.
Aaron Taylor Johnson really stiff in it.
Yeah, and
But maybe that's because of his childhood.
Yeah, and it didn't do it for me. And then, but this movie is getting rave
It's about
reviews
Godzilla.
because it's about Godzilla, and it's all about the last act of the movie, which is like really impressive, like effects-wise, the way the fights are choreographed and everything. And there is like there is one like really strange moment at the end of the Godzilla fight where like him and Aaron Taylor kick ass.
Yes.
Like, share like a little moment there, like after the battle is kind of over with, and that's like the most personal thing, emotional thing that happens in the movie, honestly.
Outside of Bryan Cranston.
Outside of Bryan Cranston.
And Juliette Binoche.
Yeah, right. And that seems right. Like that scene.
That's the first time.
Yeah, and I had high hopes for in terms of the emotional payoff for the movie, but it ended up not happening for me, and. It seems like the same people who are praising this movie also destroyed Man of Steel, where
Here we go.
I have to go here because you have a lot of destruction and collateral damage in this movie too, but people see Godzilla as a hero, and they hated Superman.
Well, there's a huge difference between the movies, though.
Sort of.
One is a giant lizard. The other is just a good-looking guy that's strong.
I feel like you're not attached to any of the human characters. You're more attached to the actual monster for no reason, really. Like
It's Godzilla.
yeah, but I think we've talked about this before, Vince. Where like each movie, you have to look at it as its own world. You can't try to think of stuff that's coming
Unless
for
it's a sequel.
But it's a reboot. Yeah, unless it's a sequel, then you can't.
We're thinking of what comes before it. Matthew Broderick and
yeah. There's definitely lower standards underneath the Godzilla for sure.
I get what you're saying. You want to care about the characters more than a giant lizard.
Yeah.
But I think there's that's something interesting to me is that you do care about the lizard at all, or that you actually see it. Is he your lizard? He's
like a prehistoric
I'm
monster.
gonna call him a lizard because when it comes down to it, he just wants to be loved. Lizards are fun. So.
Yeah.
I don't think he really cares about it. I don't think so.
Yeah, definitely not.
He does.
He does.
Godzilla does.
Yeah.
And that's it.
He kind of ignores, everything around him. He just needs to.
Like if there's a building there, he'll walk through it.
Yeah.
Rather than go around because that's not part of what he cares about.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna.
People love Godzilla for it, but if Superman does the same thing, oh, F him, he killed people.
Well, I don't want people to be like, well, why are you calling him a lizard? I just want you guys. I want to clear the air there.
Mm-hmm.
But Superman was kind of lame.
Didn't see it.
I'm just trying to take this
Also,
off.
just Superman returns. So.
Superman wasn't bad, but like I just feel like you said you don't want to care. You didn't care about some of the characters, and
You don't care about any character whatsoever in Godzilla,
But-
except for Bryan Cranston.
who do you care about in Man of Steel besides the dad was dumb?
Well, you care about both dads.
No,
And
because
you care
the
about
dad
Superman.
don't save me from the storm.
Yeah.
Everything else prior to this was fine, but the storm don't save me from it. I mean, come on.
I just think when it comes down to it, Kevin Costner character is right in Man of Steel. People just aren't ready.
I do like the mom. She was good.
Yeah.
I like Zod too. Zod was like my favorite character in that movie.
Yeah. But Godzilla, it's a monster movie, and
Who
it doesn't seem to be
Who
going
was the
anywhere.
opposition to Godzilla in these
Things
movies?
called the Mutos, which are basically giant flying creatures.
So prior to their
They're also prehistoric
Yeah.
era.
prior to their inevitable
Sort of
battle
like-
with Godzilla, did they like destroy half the city or something?
They kind of
They destroyed.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Godzilla disappears for like 20 minutes. No one knows where he is or something. Then he comes back.
No, they know where Godzilla is.
Yeah.
Pretty much the entire movie.
Yeah. They know where he
But,
is.
but
It's just
for
when
this
he comes
movie
out.
to be successful, they have to believe for a minute he won't help them. They have to believe that he won't take out the worst creatures.
The main struggle is like, oh, well, should we kill Godzilla or let him fight these creatures because we can't fight them? That's like
But,
the main.
well, the struggle is that they think they can destroy them. They have
Yeah.
a plan. Like, we're going to blow up these creatures, and maybe Godzilla 2, and it's going to be great, because now they're going to be all gone. Meanwhile, that might not work.
By the
That
way,
might end up making things worse.
Right.
I guess recent news, because we didn't mention this, there's a Godzilla 2.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sequel is announced
And
shortly after.
3.
And 3?
They said, I believe they're going to do 2 more.
Going
But
down.
then, right after that, they said Gareth
Gareth
Edwards is going to make
directing a Star Wars
spin-off.
spin-off.
So you can put Godzilla on hold, probably.
Yeah, and Godzilla 2 is very early in production. Like, they don't even have a story yet. As much as you can say
You
there's
can
a
guess
story
what
in
the
the
story's
first
going to
one.
be, though.
Yeah.
Well,
He's going to fight 3 things.
What I'm saying was, it was a pretty generic monster movie that wasn't as generic as some before, but and the same stuff ends up happening, and people loved it. I enjoyed it. Like, it was a good piece of entertainment, but I think it's not.
I think
as good as
people
saying.
needed a good Godzilla movie though. Like
Yeah.
the series needed a good Godzilla. It's kind of like I hate to throw Spider-Man for this, but it's kind of it's probably, this is the thing because I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
It's probably not bad, but it's good enough to be good based on the market for it.
Yeah,
because
for
it
sure.
was needed.
Yeah,
All Spider-Man needed to do was just be passable, and it wasn't.
yeah.
So
And it's probably one of the weaker superhero, like, at least blockbuster franchises out there now.
So, I want to see it though. There's just 2 movies I want to see. I don't know what else is out now. Actually, I haven't really looked anything in particular that seems to be.
I don't know. Well, the trailers that came up before X-Men: Days of Future Past were pretty subpar.
Yeah.
Well, just to let everybody know out there, Lego movie comes out on DVD soon.
Buy it.
Yeah, it's great. I'm buying it
Yeah.
because everything is awesome.
Yeah.
There's that movie with John Hamm, who's
$1 Million Arm.
I don't know what kind of reviews that's been getting. I really don't care though. I care about the movie, but I don't really. The reviews don't tell you so much. Well, I guess to transition with John Hamm, recently watched stuff here. Jeff, have you been watching Mad Men?
Yeah.
So we're trying not to spoil it for Rich
That's fine.
here. So we're rounding
He's
the.
6 seasons behind.
Yeah.
by the way.
He has not started it. Here's the problem: is that Mad Men is split. This is a split season.
Yeah.
So I'm referring.
It really just got started
It just started getting really
a couple
interesting.
weeks ago.
Well, I think it's been good the whole time.
It
In
has, but
different
it
ways. Didn't pick up.
It wasn't like
Well, then,
classic Mad Men.
it seems like Mad Men did get lost in the shuffle with Game of Thrones, The Walking Dead, stuff like
The
that.
fact that anything gets lost with The Walking Dead makes me angry.
Breaking Bad was the main thing that was pulling people.
Oh,
That was kind of overshadowing Mad Men in terms of like AMC shows.
for sure.
But now that it's over, Mad Men is.
Well, here's the thing with
Starting to
Mad Men,
pick up
though. They said it's season 7, and this is the end of the half season. It's the end of season 7 for me. I hate the split season stuff. I don't, because it's stupid. It's clearly a money reach. So
Mhm.
they did it with Breaking Bad. Now we all have to wait a year to see what's going to happen. But we're rounding a corner, and like Jeff just said, it's starting to get really interesting. And this last episode in particular, I feel like really picked up the like where Don Draper's going kind of deal.
Yeah.
You know, with the whole thing with Peggy. But there's also this thing that keeps popping up with other people pitching to Don, like other companies, agencies, and stuff like that he's met with when he was like out of work. So I'm really interested to see where that's got to go somewhere. There's nowhere that's just going to vanish. So just my thoughts on that. Jeff, what do you think?
I agree. They also had a new partner with that episode.
I was stupid.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Well,
So dumb.
that's some kind of like his
He wasn't even in the episode.
sort of importance keeps rising.
It's sort of importance.
The worst part about that though is that he's been insignificant for most of it. He's been like the pouting like child this whole
Yeah.
like
He's on Ham.
he's well, I want a broadcast department. I want this. It's just well anyway.
Well, it has changed what they like. The advertising they create is now
Right.
primarily selling commercials.
I mean, he did kind of give Don the heads up on what was going to happen 2 weeks ago, and remember when he was in California.
Mhm.
So I do like him for
That
that.
was accidental, though.
Right, but I find him to be uninteresting.
Yeah.
He's not very interesting. We're talking about Crane.
Okay.
It's really not
Harry.
But anyway, so Mad Men's rounding out here. I would say so far that I think Mad Men's been on its game this past season. It's been just as good as any other season. I've read articles saying it's slowing down.
If we don't see Ginsbury again, that's disappointing. His character.
Well, he's in like a pilot for a show, so I feel like that might be the end of it. He was one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
He was great. But what I mean I saw Mad Men. I just finished Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
Oh yeah.
the book.
The books. Now you got the movie.
The movie.
Yeah.
It was really funny. I liked it a lot. We don't talk about books as often. I'm going to read I have the set of all the books. It comes into one. And the next one's called The Restaurant at the End of the Universe. So I'm going to read that. It's nice to read a book that makes you laugh. I feel like not a lot of books do that anymore.
I feel like I have to rewatch that movie because I just saw it so long ago and I don't remember how I felt about it.
I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah.
But I saw that, and I've been watching Dexter. I'm on season 4 at the end. I like it, but it's starting to get very monotonous, like what happens to Dexter every season. And then, the villains and what's going to happen with the villains, and there's always a twist. But I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to spoil it for myself. What have you guys seen?
I recently saw The Double. I finally rounded out my doppelganger binge off of The Orphan Black and Enemy. But this one stars Jesse Eisenberg. It's based off of Dostoevsky's novella. And it's directed by Richard Ayoade, who was in, I want to say, that movie, that was about the 4 guys defending the town from aliens. He starred in that, but he directed Submarine. He's kind of an up-and-coming young British director. And, Jesse Eisenberg was good in this movie. If I had to, since this came out basically at the same time as Enemy did, the one I talked about in a previous episode with Jake Gyllenhaal and the guy who directed Prisoners, if I had to choose between the two, I would say I'd watch Enemy over this one. But the good thing about this one was there was some pretty comedic moments in it, even though it was pretty dark. And the character struggle really is very similar to the one that's in Enemy. It's portrayed a lot differently, though. And I don't think you have to think quite as much in The Double to kind of get where Jesse Eisenberg's character ends up and what really went on during the course of the movie. But it was a good watch all the way around. I'd give this a rent, I would say. And I was also kind of looking for a bit of Lex Luthor and Jesse Eisenberg because he plays basically a super shy dude, and then complete polar opposite. The guy who gets
Jesse Eisenberg?
Yeah.
Was a shy dude?
Well, yeah, and also a really confident, cocky dude who fed all these women.
Well, it's weird. I've never heard of him playing a role like that. It's just I feel like he's never played a role like that before.
I feel like you're using your sarcasm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is being real sarcastic.
Well, that's all he does.
Yeah.
Now You See Me, Wise Ass.
Yeah.
What was that stupid Facebook movie?
Social Network. I like the Social Network.
No, it was bad. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
I like David Fincher, though.
I guess if he's going to make money playing, I love David Fincher too. If he's going to make money playing the same character, but as an actor, I'm not going to say he's great.
I was trying to see elements of Lex Luthor in The Double. I don't know if I saw it yet. I'm still. It's going to be tough for him to break that kind of reputation he's gotten for playing the stuttering
Heath
shy
Ledger.
guy.
Heath Ledger broke his preconceptions based on 10 Can't Hardly Wait. And, 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah.
So
people were ticked off. This guy's going to be the Joker.
And look, he's
so stupid.
turned in one of the best performances probably of all time for Batman.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy was great, but doesn't even come close.
Yeah. That's The Double. I would check it out. Give it a rental whenever it comes out on DVD, Blu-ray, or Netflix.
Jeff, anything for you?
Not really. I'm currently reading Inherent Vice by Thomas Pynchon now.
I'm
not halfway through that. It's funny.
Isn't there only one picture of him? Am I thinking of the right guy?
I feel like that's someone else.
Don DeLillo, maybe?
It could be. Maybe it's both.
What's the book about?
Yeah.
It's a detective story. It's sort of like a Pulp Fiction sort of like Dashiell Hammett, that sort of mystery about a private detective in Los Angeles. But this one's set. The book's only a few years old, but it's set in the late '60s. And the detective's a stoner, and so there's a lot of drugs and a lot of just the police hate hippies. And then it's about he's investigating this thing involving his ex-wife, and he keeps bumping into this huge Golden Fang organization that no one really knows for sure, but it seems like they're running heroin into the country. And at the same time, they're running this psychiatric center, weird thing. So it's a lot of complicated storylines that keep running into each other.
Okay.
But
that's cool.
Paul Thomas Anderson's making a new film that should be coming out later this year.
Oh, great.
So get excited.
Is that the first of his novels to be adapted?
I have no idea. I haven't read any of
Okay.
Did you?
it.
Yeah, he's a really mysterious dude. So, Crying Lot 49, did that get a movie?
I
don't
no
know.
idea.
Well, according, there for a long time, I don't know if it's still the same, the only picture they had of him was a Navy shot. It was this picture right here. Like the only picture that anybody had of him for like the longest time. I'm pretty sure, and like people in his own neighborhood, they would always speculate that he lived elsewhere. I think that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
So,
There's a lot of like mysterious stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's,
Well, like you have like Lemony Snicket for like younger kids. No one ever saw his face.
really?
Yeah, all his pictures. His back would be turned to the camera and stuff. He put up that kind of persona too. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, at one point?
Yeah, at one point, like while he was writing the books, he would put up kind of this persona. No one really knew who he was.
Cormac McCarthy was really refusing for a long time too.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
All right, so, Jeff, reading. What's the time? What do we got left on time?
We probably got about 15 minutes left.
15 minutes.
15
All right.
minutes.
So we're going to have to cut something out here. We got hype and overhead. Let's go with the trailer. I like trailers.
Yeah.
Well, maybe hype and overhead, because we're talking about superhero movies. Trailers, I think, we can discuss for a longer time.
Yeah.
So a little thinking out loud today. Hype and overhype. Like some movies that maybe have not lived up to the hype. I can think of one off the top of my head right now. What about you guys? What do you guys think of this hype? Do you like when a movie gets hyped up so much? Does it kind of deter you from it, or does it make you excited? Or where do you think of the hype machine?
Like it's go ahead.
I explain where the hype's coming from.
Well, break that down for me.
Well, like, is the hype because like people who saw it when it came out were all like that really excited, or is it because like, oh, this guy's directing and it's got
More so before it comes out, hype though.
Okay.
Like like people like
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy right now.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of that like hype that comes along with that? Like,
Uh,
does it make you excited or
no? 'Cause I feel I already formed an opinion on it.
based on
That
it?
it just seems like something really silly,
Yeah, and
and the trailer I saw didn't do anything to sway me otherwise.
yeah, it does seem different from.
It could be a fun movie.
Yeah,
but
it seems fun, but at the same time, you have James Gunn directing, and he's done utter garbage previous to this. Like, seriously, he's involved in, like, I've said this in a previous podcast, he was involved in that crap live-action Scooby-Doo movie. He was involved in movie 43. It's one of the worst movies ever made. He also did Super, which was basically that Kick-Ass ripoff, which was terrible. So, I do like Chris Pratt, though. I do like the cast they have. But at the same time, like, the director does have a lot of say in the direction of the movie. So, I'd say, I don't know, in terms of movies that were overhyped, well, overmarketed, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I mean, it still made a lot of money.
He still made a lot.
But I think, like, prior to, I always worry about hype because, like Jeff just said, you form these opinions based on it.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's hyping up this Guardians of the Galaxy thing. But then there's also the party that's like, this is stupid. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy is stupid.
Yeah,
So it kind of makes you want to see it because of, like, the opposition to it.
right.
I also think they've been pretty smart with their trailer use and what they're putting out.
They haven't showed that much.
No, and I like how it's
Marketing
kind
can
of
get me
funny.
excited. Though.
What is it?
Marketing can get me excited.
Yeah.
Like the way J.J. Abrams does stuff,
Oh,
where you get
Yeah, we were talking about
teases.
Yeah.
brilliant.
Like I remember with Cloverfield being really excited, and he knew nothing.
Yeah.
He was just putting like weird like references
I think
around
that
like websites you could go to.
Guardians of the Galaxy seems to be following the Iron Man formula. You got a funny character, probably a couple funny characters, kind of like an odd band of misfits, but it could be a huge disaster too.
Yeah.
But let's get off the topic of that because we're talking about hype and overhype. I also think that the problem with hype is that people are people go fan crazy just because of fandom.
Yeah.
Like Amazing Spider-Man 2, the hype was insanity. But I think, to me, I took a step back and went, well, the trailers have given us everything about the movie, pretty much. So even if you were, like you, someone who read the comic books, you could probably predict that some of those scenes, like Gwen Stacy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, that was coming. As soon as set photos came out of her in the green jacket, it was over. Like,
Yeah, so...
Yeah. I would say that the Avengers is overhyped. Considering it took, like, how many single movies before then as well as all the marketing and trailers for it.
And it's not very good.
And it's not a very it's an entertaining movie, but as far as superhero movies go, I think people do hold it a little too high in regard compared to stuff like I don't know, Dark Knight.
I agree. I feel like the hype is what carries that film forward.
Yeah, and that's what's going to carry the Marvel Universe forward for years to come until they have stuff planned out to like 2028 or something ridiculous. Like they have the whole universe planned out.
Who knows what?
Yeah. This can't go on forever.
People catch up, I guess. They like if each movie is of like each of the huge movies is of the Avengers quality.
Yeah.
Then people will get tired of that.
Yeah.
Well, I also feel like the whole superhero like extravaganza that's been happening too. Like I feel like as of recently, the past couple of years, like it's just exploded.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it really. When did it start? Like, the Marvel thing started with the first Iron Man. That's when Marvel really.
But they already had the idea that they could build from.
Yeah, right.
I like Iron Man, but I
like
after,
the first
like-
Iron Man too.
yeah, but after the first one, to me it's just the same movie.
It's just hold over until let's get to the bigger story and bigger picture here. That's why I'm kind of nervous about Man of Steel sequel now because DC feels like they have to catch up and make all this money too. I don't want them to do that. I just want them to make solid individual movies, but it doesn't seem like they're doing that. They want to go into Justice League really quickly.
But entertainment, it's entertainment, and they choose entertainment over like well-constructed stuff.
Yeah.
Like they'd rather peddle out 6 villains in a movie than develop one really well.
Yeah.
And
But
that's the problem.
also, we just make sure we keep having the top result.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
What's the time we got? We got 5 or 10
Yeah,
minutes?
we got about 10 minutes.
Well, let's close with that with it's Memorial Day in 2 days, as we know. So
Just working on Golden Grill.
Yep.
oh,
So come on over.
I had pancakes yesterday, and they were delicious. So I just want everybody to know that. I had chocolate chip pancakes, and they cost me $4.49, and they were never ending, and it was delicious. But anyway, so Memorial Day, favorite war movies. Jeff, what is your favorite war movie?
I don't want to go.
Okay.
Well, I didn't think about this at all.
Well, before we get into this, is Forrest Gump a war movie?
Yes.
No, it's not. Thank you, Rich. It's not a war movie. It's close.
Well, war in the in the sense that guns in Vietnam and stuff. It does play a big part of the backstory, but as a whole, it's not a war movie.
Jeff?
It's about a soldier in his life before, during, and after. the
No,
war.
here, this is my argument with Forrest Gump. The movie begins with him as a kid, and the war is part of his life, but it is not about the war. So I disagree with you.
Does the war movie have to be about the war, though?
I don't think a war movie just there was a war in it. It's in the time period. Any movie filmed in that time period is not a war movie.
But it has a larger impact on the movie.
He gets shot in the ass. That's
And he makes friends. He had no friends growing up.
yeah, Lieutenant Dan.
And Bubba.
But does that really
And
is it
those
a
bonds
war
remain during the movie, at least with Lieutenant Dan. I mean, they have no reason to
Not
be
all
friends
this
or
shit.
hang out.
He met Elvis.
the king, he gave him his dance.
Yeah.
I disagree, Jeff, but I can understand your logic.
Forrest Gump's a great movie. Don't think.
It's okay.
I love him.
It is good.
Yeah.
I love Forrest Gump. Well, Rich, what's your favorite war movie? War.
Yeah, I really liked We Were Soldiers.
Great.
Mel
Do
Gibson.
these have to be historically accurate?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna go no.
Would X-Men Days of Future Past be a war movie?
Yes, it would. It would be. They always say it's a war, so
Okay, so
I think it is.
So you
But
said
I'm not going to suggest
yeah.
what was yours?
I'm thinking more along the lines of
World War II.
World War II kind of. We Were Soldiers.
And
Mel Gibson. Saving Private Ryan definitely up there as well.
what do you like? What do you like about these movies?
Just the thing about just cinema in general, when it's at its best, it takes the audience into that world and that time period and makes audiences emotionally connect with something. And both of those movies just take you right in the thick of the battle and the emotions of the families and all that kind of stuff. So that's what really sets them apart from most for me. That's just me.
Well, I'm going Inglourious Bastards, if that counts.
Oh, that's kind of like an exaggerated like war.
Yeah, that's why he was asking.
Yeah, that's why you're
Yeah.
method to the madness there.
Well, I mean, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really like The Deer Hunter. I really like
I was
Apocalypse.
gonna say the Deer Hunter.
Great movie. It's De Niro, right?
Yeah, and Christopher Walken, and John Cazale, and Meryl Streep.
Platoon is good. Apocalypse Now, Full Metal Jacket.
If you're making a war movie set in Vietnam.
Yeah. Basically.
But yeah, I don't know. Inglourious Bastards is, I'm going to count it. Because that's why I asked. I loved it.
I really want to see like a good Civil War or American Revolution.
What was that one movie with Matthew?
Oh, Glory? That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Golden
It's
Days of Matthew
entertaining.
Broderick. Yeah. Who else is in that?
Denzel Washington.
Yeah, and Morgan Freeman.
And Morgan
I was surprised. He's only in every movie.
Freeman.
He's like in every single movie.
That's before when he started taking every job that came his way, though.
Yep, you guys were right.
Who directed that again?
Edward Zwick,
And who wrote it?
Kevin Jar and Lincoln Percy.
Oh, okay.
Kristen was his book he was based on.
I think I watched that in school, actually. I watched Glory in high school.
By the way, if anybody watches the show, well, I would urge you all to go on YouTube and type in Matthew Broderick Louis from Louis C.K.
Mm.
My favorite
I haven't
scenes
seen
in
that.
that show. I maybe might like Matthew Broderick a lot. I like Matthew Broderick. Let's not forget Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller's Day Off is the best movie by
Bueller.
far. Bueller.
Bueller. He kind of fell off towards the end there, but
Yeah.
I still enjoy him. He's not in my Tobey Maguire category.
No, he just doesn't do.
Who is your Tobey Maguire? You guys have that Tobey. I have a Tobey Maguire.
Well, Farrell, I told you. We went over this, and I forget what episode of
Yeah,
our
but
podcast.
it's not founded on any kind of factual evidence that he's a bad actor. So I have factual evidence.
Right.
So
I don't know.
Jeff, who do you hate? You gotta hate an actor.
I used to really not like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. I
Uh-oh.
thought they were overhyped.
Why?
I just thought they were overhyped. And I
After
never saw anything
Good
different.
Will
When I saw
Hunting
Good
came
Will
out.
Hunting. It was a long time after it came out.
How you like them apples?
I like them a lot. It's fantastic.
I want to go over, war movies. Right? Jeff, did you?
We're
What are
done.
your two
Well, I would
cents?
have said The Deer Hunter.
The Deer Hunter as well. Okay.
Wait, does Toy Soldiers count?
Possibly.
No.
Wait, what is the? I want to see the description of Toy Soldiers on IMDb. So, guys, Jeff said that Toy Soldiers is his favorite war movie. So let's go over. Wait, no, that's not the movie I was thinking of. What's the name of that movie?
How about The Outlaw Josie Wales in my top 15?
That's a good movie.
That's a good segue too.
That's a Civil War.
Wait, time out. It's not Toy Soldiers. It's Small Soldiers.
Yeah, small stuff.
Okay.
I knew exactly what you meant.
Okay. I don't know.
I think I go in.
All right. So
They knew. Smart audience.
Yeah, Outlaw Josie Wales, number 9 in your top 15. I love that movie too. It's a great western for sure.
And because he's a Confederate, but he's so likable. But he's not really a Confederate. He's
Yeah.
what happens forces him to fight for what it was. 'Cause he's the last Confederate soldier fighting.
Mhm.
But that's like a Missouri, Kansas thing. It's not like South.
Not really. It's like it's a mid neutral state.
I like No Country for Old Men on your list. Number 10, good movie. Or 11.
Yeah, we're going down to Jeff's top 15 list that he posted on our website.
Good in the Whale is very underrated, I think.
I never.
A lot of
never
people-
heard that movie.
Well, I guess it's a little different now. But whenever I tell people about it, I'm like, oh, it's Jeff Daniels, and they think it's gonna be really funny, they never do it.
It's kind of awkward, though.
It is like it's hard to watch sometimes.
Drive.
It's a really good movie.
We already talked about how Drive is great versus Idiot. So.
I love Hugo.
Yeah,
It's basically Martin Scorsese's love letter to early cinema.
yeah.
It's so great the way it looks. I'm kind of ticked that I didn't get to see it in the theater in 3D because I heard the 3D
Yeah,
was really
that's-
great.
It was really
Did you
good.
saw it in the theater?
And it
Or-
wasn't like, it just made everything look better without being like,
in
it's
your
not
face?
popping out.
Yeah,
It's just like a rich world.
I actually wrote like a
Yeah, it's
lengthy
really-
paper on it. Yeah, It's a Butterfield and Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah. And then who's the funny guy? He plays the station
Oh,
inspector.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, he's good in that too.
It's a very
He's
like
trying to
restrained
smile.
movie, too. Yeah.
That's my favorite thing.
Yeah. Yeah, just the color grading of that movie is really awesome too. Like really deep or just rich blues and oranges. It's really cool.
The Dark Knight.
Have you guys ever talked about like bank robbery movies and like heist movies?
We stopped. Now You See Me is considered a bank robbery movie. Yeah.
I think it's a war movie.
That would be the closest we've discussed bank robbery movies.
But we could like,
Yeah, we can discuss
yeah,
that.
there's a lot of great ones.
Yeah.
And a lot that
Save it
is.
for another.
Yeah, we'll
That's
see.
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the Trello.
But on the Trello's awesome, by the way, for organization, and it's free, which is even better. We're going down the list. Number 10, Dark Knight. Can't argue with that there. Outlaw Josie Wales talks about There Will Be Blood. Vince, you had that on your list too, didn't you?
I believe I did. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you did. And your like 3-word explanation why was
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie, and
Yeah.
he's such a good actor. I wonder if I had it where I had it though. I'd be really interested.
You might have had it around the same spot, I want to say.
Thanks, Jeff.
Jeff knows how to navigate our website better than Vince does.
I know how to post stuff on it.
This is how I spent so much time on getting everything to link together.
Well, there used to be that. Let's see, I had it at 9. I just put Daniel Day-Lewis.
So Jeff had it at 8.
Has anyone seen, because I was just looking at The Departed right ahead of it. It's also a great movie. The original Chinese film that it's based on.
The Departed, you mean?
Yeah,
I haven't seen it, no.
I've not either, but I was told earlier this week that I have to see it. And that director has a new movie coming out that's his first Western release.
Okay.
So it's like a mix, it involves like Chinese mafia or something, and Ray Liotta is the like, top billed actor
Oh. Yeah, we're
in a stretch of a role for him.
Jeff. Let's see.
7 is Do the Right Thing. I remember I watched that in high school. That was really good. That is Spike Lee's best movie.
And then number 6, The Dude Abides. Great.
I've seen
Get out of here.
70% of it.
Oh,
and
you haven't seen it yet.
stopped watching.
Yes, this is what happened. No, I don't want to.
I
Over the line.
I don't know. I was gonna say that. You know the part with John Goodman with the car.
Yeah, do you see what happened?
Oh yeah.
This is what happened.
I got through most of the movie and just didn't.
Well, it's a good.
Even though I love the Coen
It's
Brothers.
a solid number 6 there, Jeff. Number 5.
Was there any Odyssey references in The Big Lebowski that I missed? Just saying, it's Coen Brothers love the Odyssey. I don't know.
Somewhere in there.
There's probably somewhere in there. Good Will Hunting. I have to see that still as well. Empire Strikes Back. Yes, even though I had A New Hope as my number 1 just because of all the characters it set up, but in terms of emotional payoff, I think, yeah, The Empire is
It's just so
better.
satisfying.
Which one?
Empire Strikes Back.
It's also like a satisfying entire movie that sets up another without being like a setup.
Right. And I tweeted out a link to this on our Cinema Observer account the other day of which order you should watch the 6 Star Wars movies. And you should treat the first, or the screw episode 1, but you should watch episode 2 and 3 as a flashback after you watch Empire Strikes Back, and then watch Return of the Jedi after episode 4, which I thought was interesting. I never really thought about that before. I was either like just completely ignore the prequel trilogy or watch it after you watch the original.
I think that's a good idea. I feel like some of this. People are gonna hate me for saying this. I like Star Wars. I love Star Wars, but I do think some of them are a little drawn out. Okay. Mostly the ones that you just discussed.
The prequels?
Yeah. I like the first 3
Really
are
didn't argue.
There's no.
Well, no, I don't know. I got an argument at work the other day because I said that I didn't like the second one. The second one in the number
Attack
2.
of the Clones.
Yeah, I didn't really care for the Attack of the Clones. So
That's bad.
But he was like, well, it's good because it sets up the rest of the movie. It was terrible. I didn't like it at all.
You were waiting until the clones would attack.
Yes.
Right.
And
the last set piece of the movie. Waiting for that the whole time.
I'm interested to see where this number 7 goes. Really.
Yeah.
I'm really interested.
supremely confident in what J.J. Abrams can do with it, because he made turned Star Trek from something totally cheesy into something cool. So, going back, working our way up the list here. Number 3 is Taxi Driver.
Great movie.
Would you say it's Scorsese's best movie?
I said they're at their finest.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So.
But he has a lot of best movies.
Right. Has he ever done a bad one? I think Shutter Island was kind of. For me, Shutter Island was predictable, a little bit, but I would say that's not his strongest work. I'm trying to think of Scorsese films I didn't particularly care for. I didn't see Wolf of Wall Street yet. I know a lot of people would have, and they've all liked it, actually, even though it has been divisive, like we've said before. Yeah. Anything else on Taxi Driver, Jeff? I haven't watched that yet either.
I love that one quote when he's talking about the rain coming down. The rain that just come off the streets.
Yeah, the whole movie is just really good. He's like, you gotta watch it.
Yeah.
You got Back to the Future number 2. That's pretty
I
solid.
love Back to the Future.
The whole trilogy is fantastic, but I didn't want to keep up.
Yeah. I never watched the third one, the West. I never got around. I saw the first 2, and then I saw the third one. So I don't know if I think they're going a little too far, but maybe I'll give it a shot now.
The Western movies. So.
Yeah, maybe I should give it a shot.
And then, what's your number 1 here?
Young Frankenstein.
That's a good one.
Nice knockers.
The whole movie is so fun.
Yeah, pretty good. It's pretty good. This I feel like it couldn't be mine.
It's a very personal list too, which is good. It's not like stereotypical top 15 list, which is awesome.
That's how we do things over here at the
That's how
Cinema Observer. Well, I guess before we depart, quick update on the Movie League. It's going strong. I am currently in 11th place, so I'm not very happy about that. But we have 27 people in the league.
I think there were 26 last week.
Skankorama is currently. I don't know cinemas who the user is Skankorama is currently in first. So touche, Skankorama.
You're doing great, James.
Where are you?
I think I was Barb Pictures.
Words with Sam, who won a AMC giveaway. He's in 10th. Bard Pictures is in 8th, and Jeff
15th.
is in 15th, and he's probably going to be in 27th by the end of the week.
Probably.
So I think that pretty much wraps us up for today.
Yeah.
The one viewer who's out there, and thank you for staying.
Thank you so much.
And we will probably do this again, so we're hoping to grow our network here. This is something new for all of us. So until next week, go out and see X-Men and Godzilla.
See X-Men and Godzilla. I would see X-Men over Godzilla personally. But it depends what you're into, really. Just to kind of hash out all our contact deets, our social media.
Don't ever say
accounts. Okay, I won't. You can follow us on Twitter at cinema_observer. Vince usually live tweets our podcasts. And we also post stuff throughout the week whenever we post something on the website or find a news story that we find particularly interesting. I also posted a video of Morgan Freeman on Helium the other day. And staring in the face of James Franco's Alien right now. Not really. Okay, never see Spring Breakers either. Or Spring Breakers 2. James Franco just.
All right, we're getting off topic.
We're getting off topic.
This is random. CinemaObserver.com is our website, our Twitter handle, because somebody without any
tweets
has Cinema Observer. We are Cinema_Observer. Cinema_Observer.
And Twitter, please get on that, because I know you have a policy about inactive accounts and deleting accounts if they've been inactive for a while. This dude hasn't tweeted at all, so just saying.
Facebook.com/CinemaObserver.
What if everyone just flagged the Cinema Observer?
Yeah, one word. Yeah.
What if the flagging?
Is that possible? Do they need to have a tweet to be able to flag them?
What if the flagging woke him up though, and he became active?
Like Godzilla.
On that note.
Rivalry and hype ourselves, you know.
Yeah.
Create some fake drama.
What else is there? That's it. That's probably it. Our YouTube channel, Cinema Observer.
Voting is still open for the
superhero
villain
teams.
draft.
Yeah. We haven't checked on that in a while, but last we checked, Jeff's team was somehow in the lead over Vince's immortal team.
What was that? What was the? How do we check that? I forget.
What do you mean? Oh, it's on SurveyMonkey.
You know,
We'll close off with those results now.
Yeah.
I mean, if our viewers are intelligent, we know who's winning.
I kind of assumed that I would be rounding up last place, considering my team is very weak compared to.
Well, yeah, remember though,
The
good
other
guys
teams.
always win in the end.
You
Right.
can't kill my team. My team won't
But they
die.
always get defeated in the end. So
Villains are stupid, Vince.
Jeff is leading by 1 vote over my team.
all right,
How many total votes do we have?
8.
We have 8 total votes.
800 total votes so far.
Add 2 zeros to that number 8. So Jeff's team is in the
All it
lead.
takes is for me to sign on to a computer at school and like myself.
Do some robots on our survey.
All right. Well, we've overstayed our welcome here. Have a good weekend,
Have a great Memorial Day.
and
Grill a lot of steak and burgers.
And watch the Deer Hunter.
Yeah.
or Forrest Gump. Kind of thing. See you later,
See
guys.
ya.
Oh, we're still here on the on here.
So thanks to the one viewer who has watched us this time.
Hopefully it's not Nipsey Swoop.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be doing this every week for our podcast. We usually record over the weekend. This podcast, this episode comes out every Sunday usually. Since this is Memorial Day weekend, it might come out Tuesday or Monday night. So
Newsletter every Wednesday. Sign up.
yeah, sign up for our newsletter every Wednesday. And I'm in the process of tweaking our website and newsletter still. So there's always new and interesting stuff on our website, cinemaobserver.com. So thanks for watching.
Subtle departure.
We'll see you at the movies.